everyone. Welcome to Reality Ghana. This is Denisha,
I'm Anthony.
and we have come today to uh, share another segment, and that's titled
Building wealth in the USA versus Ghana.
um, you may see the raindrops in the back. We actually came to Ghana this time around in the rainy season. It hasn't rained really bad here, but they have the days where they sporadically rain. So this is what we're faced with today. And of course, anybody who's familiar with the weather and how it deals with, us, um, it changes the mood of things, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, as she was saying, it don't rain every day during the rainy season, but it can rain 1 or 2 days nonstop. Um, but yeah, we're dealing with it, and it's not bad. I mean, right now we're up on a type of gazebo type of structure here, so we're good. And our chalet is just only maybe 200-300 feet, if not, maybe even less than that, maybe a couple 100 feet from where we are now. And we have the umbrella. Of course, you gotta, if you're coming in the rainy season, just come prepared. You won't need the umbrella every day. You won't need it, as much as you think. But as I said in another video, it's not like you're in the Amazon where you have, or in some Asian country where they get the monsoon. You know what that is? A nonstop raining, raining, raining. Don't actually happen like that here. Um, but yeah, we're dealing with it, and
We're actually doing better. We're praying for our family and friends back in the States, especially the state of Florida where we
yes,
live. I believe it's Hurricane Elsa. It was downgraded to a tropical storm, and then there were warnings for tornado watches near our hometown. So we're definitely praying for you guys.
yes. And those that are viewing this, you're gonna actually get this after the
Right.
storm. So we want to let you
But
know
you'll
that.
know we prayed for you.
Yeah, yeah, you're gonna get this after the storm because we're just actually creating different talking points and talking issues that we see in the U.S. versus Ghana. So you'll hear a lot of us do a lot of um, topics about the U.S. versus Ghana. And by all means, when we talk about different topics, we are not saying Ghana is better. What we're trying to do is make you aware that there's other opportunities, right? Because as Black people, melanated people, we need other opportunities. We need other new ideas. We need to move around more. I'm telling you, um, African Americans are the least people that travel the planet. Well, at least Africans travel way more than we do. Even people from Jamaica, Haiti, um, Trinidad, all these different islands, these people travel way more than African Americans. So we got to broaden our horizon. We got to make sure we expand our mindset about traveling and about visiting places. And not only that, trying to see whether or not we can invest in the different lands that we encounter. So we're actually talking today about building wealth in the U.S. versus Ghana, or in Ghana versus the U.S. Right? So what do you think about that? Yes, I can go first. I got a few notes here. I think in terms of the when we talk about wealth, when you look at wealth, wealth is really like real estate. And when we talk about the term real estate, we're not talking about uh, anything other than land. Land is the real estate, right? Cars, they ain't gonna get it. You know, renting things, it's not gonna get it when you talk about the real estate. That's why in America it is pushed among Caucasian people. They learn this at a very early age. Caucasian male and Caucasian female is to buy your home around your early 20s, and then on your fourth house, your first house. I'm a country boy. I'm sorry. Your fourth house. By the time you'll build a little equity in the first one, and then you'll transfer that equity to the second one. By the time you get to the fourth one, the house will be free because you would have accumulated so much equity in the house that you'll be on a bigger scale house, and you'll be in with the equity you've made in those four houses. You've been paid for the whole house, and it won't be a long time. Like we're taught in the black community, go and buy a house, whenever you can. We'll party most of our life away, having fun, and then most of us buy a house in our late 30s. Some of us buy a house in our 40s. Some of us buy a house in our 50s and even 60s, your first house. And I don't know if you're 50 or 60 years old and you're trying to buy a house at a 30-year mortgage. I don't know. You'll probably be close to 100 years old before you can pay the house off, anywhere from 80 to 90 years old. That means that only transfer to you working most of the part of your life until you're going to work till you die. And we got to get away from that. So the reason why we're bringing this topic to you to show you that there are other alternatives to this game. Access to land. The real estate is land. Now, in the U.S., land is expensive. And it's definitely going to be expensive when you go and try to buy it. When I say you, I'm talking about melanated brother and sister. When you go and try to buy land, you're going to have an issue. You may be able to buy it. I don't care if you do have an 800, 850 beacon score, right? But if you're sitting across the table with somebody that don't like you, don't really want to sell to you, the interest rate going to be high and the price of the land is going to be higher. You understand? So you're going to lose starting out, not gain. You're going to lose. So my thing is, we talk about building wealth in Ghana versus the U.S. I think that in Ghana, the access to land is phenomenal because Ghana is open to leasing land to foreigners for 50 to 99 years. And you might like, oh, I want to own the land outright. You know, if you're a foreigner, you're not going to own the land outright in Ghana. Now, I know there's some YouTubers, they frown on that and they talk about going to lands where you can, other African countries where you own the land outright. That's fine too. Make the best financial move for you and yours, right? Well, we happen to like Ghana. Not saying that Ghana will be the only place that we will go to research our ideas and actually the facts too. So, but anyway, Ghana is open to leasing land to foreigners for 50 to 99 years. If you're anywhere like my age, hey, you'll be 100 years old before you have to renew the lease if you're leasing it for 50 years. So, and I want to tell you, it's way less than 10% of what you paid for the overall price. It may even be 1 or 2% of what you may have to redo the lease for another 50 years. Which at that time, I think my children will redo the lease before I even get that. If I purchased some land in Ghana, right? Sometimes there's 99-year lease. And if you're already 50 years old, you won't ever redo it. Your children's children will be doing it, right? So I think that, okay, in the U.S., you still don't own the land either. So, because you have property tax every year. And property tax does what? Goes up. Each year, the property tax goes up a little bit, up a little bit, up a little bit. And if you don't pay your taxes in the U.S. and it accumulates so much, somebody can go down and get what they call it, a tax certificate. Purchase a tax certificate for your delinquent taxes, right? And if they do any type of modifications to the land, they cut the grass down, they cut the trees away from your house, your abandoned house. Even if they fix the house, make it whatever investment money they put in their labor plus cost of product or whatever, you got to pay them that plus the tax to get your property back. That's how the United States work.
Very tedious process.
Yeah, and it's too much, and you're probably gonna lose it.
Oh yeah, or they lose.
Or they lose, but they won't lose because whatever money they put into the property, your property that is delinquent in tax.
If you don't have the money to go back.
Right. Well, that's the reason why you're delinquent in your taxes. Right. You don't have the money. So this is what happened in the U.S. and it definitely happened to a lot of melanated people. You know what I'm talking about when I say. Yeah, it's the same thing. Right. It's the same thing.
But it's like in the U.S. you're leasing your property by year versus leasing it every 50 or 99 years over here in Ghana.
Absolutely. And it's less likely to lose. You're less likely to lose your property in Ghana about a dispute on how much you're going to pay for the next 50 years, right? Because you won't be dealing with the same one that sold you the land. You'll be dealing with the siblings, which that could be an issue for the children of the children. But normally that's not an issue. I've heard a lot of stories where people normally say you don't even have to worry about that. That's going to be very small amount of money that you will be paying. And look, white, if you are trying to invest in the continent, whether you're building your own personal house or whether you're trying to start a business or something like that, listen, money talk, right? And like I said again, you're less likely to lose your property because I don't even know if they have taxes. I think they have taxes, but a lot of people, it's very, it's so small.
I wanted to say this. We're not talking about something that we know nothing about. We've done our research. We've involved ourselves with some of this stuff, and right now we're not ready to, share. But we will have a video, a segment where we will share. But you get a lot of people on YouTube, and there's a lot of hoopla. A lot of conspiracy. You know, stories, and people, they don't really know, they just go by what they've heard, or what they've been told versus actually being involved in a situation. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Well, you don't have a couple of amateurs here as it relates to this.
Right. And yes, there. I want to add to that. Yes, there are a lot of stories about people being swindled out of their money because they didn't go through due process and
Right.
trying to acquire the land. First of all, you got to know that you're in a developing country. That means that the country is not developed all the way as the U.S. is developed, right? And I just heard the other day when we came here that they're making it tougher now for you to acquire land in Ghana. That now you may have to go through lawyers. I don't know how much they have that in place yet, but I know that the law is pending or it's already passed. So it will be a plus. It will be a plus, but also there will be another cost to it. So
Right.
for those that are listening to this now and you're trying to acquire wealth in Ghana, or you're thinking about acquiring wealth or acquiring land in Ghana, you better go ahead and do it now. Don't wait later because things are changing and they're rapidly changing. Don't think that Ghana don't know who's coming into their country buying the land. And I want to say it is not the majority of the African Americans that are doing it. There's other nationalities, other ethnic groups that are here that are actually looking at Ghana as valuable.
Right.
You know, whether they come here for the resources, they come here for the peace, they come here for like this resort. These are foreign people that own this resort right here. It's a Nigerian and I believe an Englishman. I don't know if he's Englishman. I thought I heard he was talking Italian the other day when I was listening to him. So I don't really know what his background is. But I mean, they're taking advantage of something that you could take an advantage of, but you don't want to leave the U.S.
Right.
You don't even want to think about it. You don't even want to vacation here because you've seen the videos. You know, the one thing about us melanated people from the U.S. I'm only speaking from the U.S. now. We get afraid when we see something on TV, right? That's how they make you fearful and you don't move around because of what you saw on media, right? They keep you scared like they keep you in the box, keep you under control, right?
A lot of times sit back and we talk about how bad, other nationalities are treating the continent, how they shouldn't be here, how they shouldn't, have, you know, uh, they shouldn't have a right hand to what we should have, but fail to do anything about it. I mean, if you're going to talk about it, come up with a plan to try to do something about it, and then, I mean, you can't stop, and that's in whatever country. You can't stop, what the government allows, but you can be a voice by coming in and spreading the wealth, right?
Absolutely.
I'm showing that, I am from here. I don't like what's going on, so I'm going to try to be a change, you know, in the community as much as I can be. Also, um, to relate back to what you said earlier, um, I just went blank. I should have let you talk that long. I would have remembered. I mean, oh, that's what it was. It was the lawyers being put in place to purchase land. I said it was a plus because you never know you may get. You know, a lot of people that say they own land, they take pieces of land, they show you the land, and then it turns out when you go down and do the property search, they don't even own the land. And I pray to God you haven't given them your money yet because you won't be getting it back. You know, so I mean, I think it's a plus for the lawyers to be put in place because that way you avoid all of this different, giving out money and not being able to get your money back, losing money, trying to regain money so that you can purchase the right property and stuff like that. It's just a whole lot of commotion. I'm not saying that it happens all the time,
But
but
do
it
have
does happen. And the lawyers are being put in place to make sure that you don't have to go through the circle. You can just take a straight line from purchasing to the finish line, basically.
this. And it's just like the U.S. The U.S. formed that same system hundreds of years. Well, I want to say a few hundred years ago, maybe even longer than that. It's because the same thing that was going on then, that there was unclear title deeds to property and to land, right? And so what they did was made it a legal thing to where you either had to be a real estate agent, even being a real estate agent. Guess what happens when you sign all the papers? You have to hire a real estate attorney, right? And what they do is they do the massive search to make sure that the change of properties is followed to the T. And if not, they are liable. Let's say liable. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Legally, they are held
You're
responsible.
right.
Yeah, they are held responsible for that. So Ghana is slowly, maybe at a snail's pace, but they are steadily changing, trying to make it better. Now, when she was talking about when someone sells you the land, sometimes the people have already sold the land, and their name is on those deeds because the people that they sold it to hadn't done due diligence and gotten it out of their names
Because of money.
because of money.
Right.
So they could sell you that land and sell that land 3 times before anybody ever catch on to it.
Nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, you could take it to court
You're gonna be there about 20 years.
and look at you'll be better off going to find another property by the time you get done with lawyer fees and everything else. And sometimes these people may be able to get to the judge. They know the judge. Their uncle knows the judge
Small.
or the chief. Yes, the chief in their village knows the judge, and then there it is. But so what we're telling you is that don't be so anxious that you get into something that you know you should have checked on and prepared yourself and do your due diligence search. Now you can buy land on your own, can, but like I say, look, we want you to make sure that you leave comments and you contact us through our information that we're leaving down in the description box. You contact us because we have people here on the ground, and we say that, but we really do have people here on the ground that
Trustworthy.
that can help knock some of this out. Now I'm gonna tell you something. These people sometimes Ghana's not set up like the U.S., so these people have to travel. Yeah, they have to meet kings, queen mothers. They have to negotiate different things, right? They have to bring stuff to the kings. You don't come before the king without bearing a gift, right? Just like in the Bible, right? That they don't play that here. That's just the way it's the custom, and you have to do the custom here, and things have to be done in order. So yeah, we can help you with the process, but it will cost a little money. When we say small, it's not equivalent to American money, but these people have to travel because they live in different cities and they have to go to where there is available land at. And I can tell you now, if you're coming to Ghana and you're looking for land in the Metro the Metro Accra area, the land is pretty much gone unless you got millions of dollars to be able to get in on that. Just telling you that now. So a lot of people will promise you a lot. Then when you get there and see what you're getting, and you say, well, this ain't worth it. It's because a lot of the land has been already purchased in the greater Accra area. Now you got land that's on the outskirts that's still available, maybe 45 minutes to an hour. That's good because if you go to Accra and you don't like the metro city anyway, you ain't gonna like that because it's just too busy. What?
Right.
What? Yeah, it's my nose. I'm sorry, y'all. My nose is bothering me. I don't know if it's the salt from the sea, the rain, but you know how it is when the nose start bothering. It's just bothering me right now. I have hairs coming out of my nose. I need to shave them. But
And if you don't like the roads, there's a lot of places that have good roads in poor places than you know the
across,
small areas. You have
Kamasi,
Accra, you have some areas in Kumasi, you have, but they're doing a major construction
and
on that
Kamasi.
main
So
road in Kumasi. So
you keep it
yeah,
real dusty, and
right,
it's
and
just,
it's
oh
real
god,
comfortable.
it's like a roller coaster ride.
We
So
had the privilege of going to Takoradi, which we're going to show that in another segment on yesterday,
right,
and they have awesome roads.
better than the years we have been traveling back and
Yeah,
forth to Ghana. We see that Takoradi. It seems like the township or the city of Takoradi.
had a plan.
They had a plan, and
Yeah,
then we saw street signs. We was like, street
right.
signs.
You
So,
rarely see streets.
and we saw garbage men collecting garbage,
Yeah, that was the first for me.
and whoever. And look, man, I want to tilt my head to you. Yes, for the mayor, if you got a governor there, whatever it is that you have there, your MPs. I know Takoradi can be better, but it is on its way to being a more developed city in Ghana. I'm telling you, they're on their way. All it takes is the people to catch on, to get on board on what they're doing there, and it will be an amazing place to live. Of course, most of all of Ghana is ocean, right by the ocean. So Takoradi has the beaches right there on the ocean. Takoradi has a mall, right? But anyway, we want to talk about. We want to get back on subject. We'll start talking about things we want to talk about on the next segment here. But I want to say with being able to purchase the accessible land here in Ghana, there's a lot of things that you can do with the land. A lot of things you can do with the land. Um, farming, industrial warehousing, right? Animal farming, goats, poultry, pigs, cows, and even snails. That's a large. Where do you think the French people getting their snails from? There's a massive, giant snails here. I'm talking about big snails. Their shells are like this,
Yeah,
right? There's some massive snails, but they're eating them in France. They eat them here. They eat them here. A lot of snails. So imagine, um, you start, and you don't need a lot of land. You just need maybe a plot, right? A plot of land just for snail farming, and and it'll work. You could do apartment housing communities, schools, park, etc. Um, I also want to say that you can find land in Ghana anywhere from 700 US dollars a plot all the way to thousands of dollars per plot. It all depends on whether you want to be on the coast, right on the water, whether you want to be inland, you want to be on a hill, a mountain. It all depends on where you want to be at.
yeah, they do
Um,
have homes sitting on the mountains, on the
yes,
hills.
yes, it can be done here. So I want to just tell the black family that hey, there are alternatives to this thing, and you don't just have to settle for just thinking that we have to stay here because our parents are here, their parents are here, their parents are here, their parents are here. Go all the way back until we was taken. You have options. Matter of fact, you was taken from this region. We don't know where. We can always assume that we're here. We have
Yeah,
this, that, and the third
we're
of us,
not
but
even
we,
certain about the ancestry DNA.
yeah,
You know,
there's no way they could
right?
make that that to be facts. They can't. They
They would
can't do
need
it.
someone from generations
Yeah,
past to actually connect you. But
yeah.
hey,
They can't do it. We just like to give our money, like to have some type of closure on where we came from, but we know we came from this region. Why? Because a lot of people that look like us, right?
yeah,
And then they have books documented that people were taking. That's why if you come to Ghana, they got so many doggone. They call them castles, I call them dungeons, but they have a lot here. They have a lot here, and that means that they were doing a lot of slave trafficking from here. But anyway, I want to get back to um, to the verses. Now, let's deal with the U.S. Right now, black people in the U.S. collectively we're like 45 to 47 million people, right? You're talking about African American. When you're talking about our Jamaican brothers, Haitian brothers, and all the other black people that have migrated into the U.S. We're just talking about African Americans, anywhere from 45 million to 47 million people, right? We own less than 1 million acres of land. If you do the math on that, that looks really bad. That means that we don't own nothing, right? Look at all of your celebrities, your athletes. They don't really own nothing other than jewelry, cars, and homes. They don't own nothing. Yeah. So we as a race of people, as a people globally. Well, I ain't gonna say globally, but let's deal with the U.S. because we're talking about Ghana versus U.S. We're decreasing. We're decreasing in a lot of areas, and our celebrities they don't own manufacturing. If they put their name on a clothing wear, you better believe that they don't own the textile mill. They definitely don't own the cotton fields or the wool plants that actually interweaving this fabric together. They don't own that. So technically, they don't own anything. And if they don't own it, we don't own it. All we are in America are consumers, right? And as long as America have a lot of people that consume, they're gonna stay a powerhouse and they're gonna stay controlling the masses, right? Controlling us because we are consumers. We consume what they produce. We got to start being producers. We got to start becoming more innovative. We are innovative people, right? So in the U.S., blacks have been subjugated to redlining, to gentrification, land thefts through taxes, discriminated against. Man, we've been discriminated against in loans. You already know how you go to the bank. I don't care how good your credit is. I don't care. Look, we went to the bank. We went to the bank several times. Halfway decent credit, collateral, money in the bank,
Proof of money,
proof of
perpetually,
income coming in, a business that's been established for years,
of whom we have a bank relationship with.
will not give us a loan.
And if they want to give us a loan, it's not what we qualify.
You know what? They're gonna give you a loan for less than $1,000, and when you tell me what you're gonna be able to do with that on a larger scale, it's absolutely nothing. So for those that are saying, "Oh, Ghana this, Ghana nasty," no, we talk about all the issues that Ghana got on this channel here, and we know Ghana got some problems. They got a long ways to go, and a lot of that is due to leadership and government. And look, hey, the people of Ghana has to straighten that out. But we can only talk about it, but they're the only one that can actually straighten that out. But hey, at least here you got an opportunity to get a loan, and then you don't have to have a loan to buy you a plot of land. If you don't have serious money, you can buy. Look, you get an income tax. Some of y'all get an income tax almost to $10,000. You can buy you 10 plots with $10,000 here in Ghana. 10 plots don't even make no sense. I'm just telling you. I'm just saying we have options, and it is our job and duty now just to let you know that you have options. Um, we got to stop procrastinating. We got to stop being afraid. Yeah, Ghana don't look like the U.S. as far as the infrastructure. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It's night and day. But there's a little light that's flickering in Ghana, and every year that light get brighter and brighter, brighter and brighter. And for me and for my wife, we see possibilities, and that's why we're coming to you. That's why we keep coming over here. We are just looking for ways to invest and to try to develop. Have we arrived there yet? No, but we are looking for ways to better ourselves and to better our children. The reason why we telling you that because we got to do something for our young people.
Yeah.
Because if they got to follow the mold that we follow, most of you own one house. Most of you in the U.S. own one house. Okay, how much money you making? You own one house. So if you got 5 or 6 or 7 kids, how you gonna split one house with 7 kids? Something happened to you. So when something happened to you and your spouse or just you, them 7 kids gonna fight over that house. And eventually, what's gonna happen? All that hard work that you did, your legacy. They're gonna sell it, and they're gonna split the money, and your legacy is gone. No, there's no more remembrance of what you did. It's gonna be gone because you didn't try to reach for the stars. You just giving whatever you were given in the U.S. You just took it, and you took it because we had no other way. We had until we visited the continent to find out. Wait a minute, you mean tell me we have options?
Yep.
You mean tell me we can go? We didn't even know we can travel across the ocean. We knew that people were doing it,
Right.
but we didn't know we can do it. So what we're trying to do is to motivate you. You have something else? I know you had some talking points, but I think building wealth in the U.S. is difficult. And the number one thing is why it's so difficult. I know we said a lot of things so far. The number one thing and why it's so difficult to build wealth in the U.S. is because of racism, discrimination, and white supremacy. Anytime you have white supremacy, let's just speak the truth. Can we speak the truth in power here? Anytime you have I say white supremacy. You have a massive amount of people in the U.S. that are white and they think they are supreme. Then if they are supreme, then somebody has to be under them, inferior, right? You have a superior and you have inferior. That means that the rest of the people are inferior to them, right? Because they have already dominated the masses. So if you are inferior, they're not going to let you get here because it's wealth here and there's power here to subjugate. So black people in America have been so subjugated and so discriminated against that we don't know if we're coming and going. And you know what? We think, gotta watch the flies here.
Yeah.
We think that we have it good.
Yeah.
We have it
And a
good.
lot of people, a lot of African Americans or blacks, are actually living a successful life. I mean, they're living million,
Yes,
multi-million dollar statuses,
absolutely.
and they feel like they've arrived. There's still a part of you missing. There's still a piece of you missing. I don't care how high you get. I mean, it's still a piece of you missing. You may say, "Well, I'm not leaving because I built here. I built a
You
life
got your
here."
empire.
What about coming to have an impact on the continent? What about investing in the continent? You don't want to leave the U.S. You don't have to.
You don't have to.
Invest in the continent.
If
Make
you've
it
made it
better
there,
for your sisters and your brothers, your ancestor people over here that that weren't taken. Your family that not of. Make an impact on the continent. Don't keep all that money for yourself because it wasn't given to you to keep for yourself anyway. It was given to you to disperse, and why not do it where you know that it's gonna make good, it's gonna make a way for somebody, it's gonna give somebody a job, because the work over here,
it's a lot of work. I want to say this too. Stop looking at the celebrities that visit Ghana
yeah,
and say that they're moving to Ghana, and then that motivates you to say, "Oh, God, there must be something going on because people are moving to Ghana." Listen, those celebrities that are moving to Ghana, they may have a home in Ghana, but I just don't believe that they'll be able to turn the U.S. loose because they have been living in the U.S. and living on top for so long.
right,
So when you come to Ghana and you understand that Ghana has so many issues that America has conquered already, you want to turn back. So they may have a home here for to come here and to get that peace that surpasses all understanding, right? They may come here and get it, but they're gonna go back to, as the scripture says, the dog has returned to his vomit, right? We always return back to the vomit. That's how we are as people. We return back to the vomit. You could come here and be almost a king, but you rather go back being a servant and being a servant to those that have conquered you and broke you. That's what we love. We love. Hey man, the Stockholm syndrome is real, right? Anybody know the real story to that? Stockholm syndrome is real. Stockholm is a place in what was it, Switzerland or somewhere called Stockholm. Look, I'm not even finna get into that, but anyway, the people came in and they robbed and they robbed the bank and stuff and had the people held hostage and then the hostages began to kind of be fond of their oppressor, the people that was holding them hostage, because they gave them a little food, gave them a little water, you know. And that's how we are as melanated people. As long as we get a little bread and a little water, We're loyal to those that have conquered us. You might say, well, what Jesus fit into this? Jesus was a conqueror. I don't know about you. Jesus was a conqueror. They didn't conquer him like that. He went to the cross for all, right? That's what the Bible says. For his people. He came for the lost sheep. That's what he said. He came for the lost tribe of Israel. That's what he came for. And he did exactly what he came to do, and he set them free. It's amazing that they still conquered though. So listen, we think that, man, just on a practical note, building wealth here in Ghana, even if you don't do anything but just buy one lot and put a small little house there and rent the house out, that's probably more than you got in the U.S. And for those that are exceeding and successful in the U.S., man, I tip my hat to you, man. You keep doing what you're doing. Keep being a boss in the U.S. Keep doing what you're doing. But look out for somebody else, man. Please don't let your legacy die just with you. And you've done nothing for no one else. You have did anything just only for your children and the people in your space. That's the only people that you've done anything for, right? Jesus said, "You done it. If you done it unto to the least, you done it unto me." Right? So if you ain't did nothing to the least, you did nothing for Jesus. That's what it say. So the least. Stop doing things for people you know. It's easy to go up and bless somebody you know if they're doing bad. What about the continent? They're not investing in the continent. We just talking about Ghana, but all the continent, all the 54, 55 countries. Invest in it.
One of our missions are to find resources wherein us diasporans, can collaborate together and see how we can go about making an impact, a huge impact on the continent. Sometimes we come over here and get our way, get the mission of why we really, supposed to come over. And we begin to live, and we begin to live amongst the people, begin to live amongst the things that we, you know, complain about instead of doing something about it, you know, making a change in the community. So don't think that we're just talking about it and we're not going to, try to have our little impact in it, because we are. We're gonna do some research and find out what resources are available to us as African over here on the continent so that we can make that change.
And also, just think about what we said on a serious note. I'm gonna say this. Hopefully I can say it in every episode that we record. Ghana's not easy. Don't let anybody think that Ghana is easy. It's not easy here. See some of the young people walking around looking for work, any kind of work they can find. They work in the rain. I've seen them working. I've seen the fishermen go out while it's lightning on the seas. And you ever seen lightning on them ocean front? It's serious. These guys they taking the boat to the lightning. And I was like, wow, what kind of people are this that they are not even afraid, or they have to go to work just to make this money? So look, I got a lot of respect for the Ghanaian people. I'm telling you, they are just some amazing people.
We love you guys.
We love you, but we got to speak the truth to power too. Yeah. But hey, we're gonna wrap this up. Hopefully, we'll have some more talking points in the same subject. All right.
We love you too.
yeah, we love you. We
right.
talking about the U.S. people.
Yeah, now we talk about the U.S. people.
Yeah, we love you too. Yeah, that's where we from.
Right.
We live there right now. We live there. That's our home. The Ghana's not our home. It is our home, like a second home in a sense. But hey, look, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. We know that we don't have a lot of content for you, a lot of pictures and videos that we can. Because when I look at YouTube, I want to see people. But I want to tell you something. When you come to Ghana, be careful how you record people. Some people will get at you about trying to take their picture. You have to ask, and a lot of them want money, right? So this is basically a channel where you can be informed about some things that you know, and some things that you already know, and then some things that you don't even have a clue to, right? So that's what we're about. So I mean, if you want to see pictures, you probably want to go to some of those those people that have 100, 200, 300, 500, 700,000 subscribers because they show you all the pictures and things that you want to see all of the pretty stuff.
Well, we have some pictures and videos on our segment, so don't count us out, okay?
Yeah, we'll have
We
little
just started
snippets of
out.
different things, but
We're growing. We're trying to grow our channel. So like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell so that you can be notified every time there's a video uploaded by Reality Ghana. We love you guys. Until next time.
peace.